Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. We got a 297 XRP. The market's up at 4.27 trillion, 124,000 Bitcoin. Little reminder here for those of you who haven't been thinking about it. I've been preparing myself for, if there's a potential dip. I mean, I think October, November, December is going to be some interesting months. A lot of times in the middle of those things you have manipulation or manipulation in the lead up to it. I'm sitting here waiting. Now, one thing that many of you have not thought about, and this is something I always think about towards the end of the year, I have IRAs with iTrustCapital, my partner. So this is a lot of times leading up to the end of the year, people like me make a contribution to their IRA. If it's a Roth IRA, last time I checked, I want to say you can contribute like $6,000 or $7,000 a year. But if you have like a SEP IRA, you can contribute. I want to say it's like $40,000 a year or something. You can go and check. But at the end of the year, at the end of the year, you make those contributions before the year flips over because it resets, is the way I understand it. So anyway, if you haven't opened an iTrustCapital account, go to iTrustCapital.com/XRP Army, and you can come here. You can get the promo code to get a $100 free funding bonus. That's iTrustCapital.com/XRP Army. I highly recommend you look at IRAs, folks, especially if you've been laid off. You can roll your 401k, or if you're with the federal government, your thrift savings plan, you can roll those into an iTrustCapital IRA. You can feel it, folks. The XRP FUD is at the highest level since Trump's tariffs were announced 6 months ago. There have been more bearish comments than bullish for 2 of the past 3 days, which is generally promising buy signal. Markets move opposite the smaller trader expectations. Then we have these kind of clowns. And one thing I find interesting about the Wolf of Wall Street is this guy he always claims to be I'm pro XRP, or I'm neutral on XRP, but he just by chance happens to always have the same people that are bashing XRP on. They use his platform as a place to throw out all their negative comments, almost as if he's trying to play this who, me, and intentionally let it out there. That's the problem I have. So this guy, this is pretty typical. Anytime people bash XRP, it's like a drive-by shooting. They hit XRP. They don't explain any of the reasons for their logic because they don't have any. And then they just make some blanket statement, and it's obvious they don't know what they're talking about.
Those things usually trade with beta, right? And there's that. Of course, XRP is breaking its beta, but that's okay because the narrative in XRP blows basically compared to the narrative in others, and we could talk about why. But
we can talk about why, but I'm not going to, because there is no why.
There's a lot going on here, and I think that this is a far more fundamental climbing.
Now, what's more interesting than that is this. For those of you that weren't around back in 2020. Listen to this.
Gamma chain with this one. Pretty much identical to October 2020 right now. Look at that. If you were not around back then, what the hell does that mean? Well, if we are in October 2020, guess what? That means that nice move from here to the end of the year, bigger move in Q1, Q2 next year. 3 to 9 months, maybe 3 to 15 months. If this is truly October 2020, then we have October 2026 to look forward to for a market top. That would just break everybody's brains, man. Everyone's burnt out. But when you start making money, you start feeling real, not burn out real quick. Let's put it that way.
I think the sentiment's going to change real quick, and for these reasons.
How soon, Charles? How soon is this bull run?
I think after the Clarity Act passes, and there's a good chance that's going to pass in October, there's going to really good possibility.
just a point of note, we're in October, folks.
Possibility that we're going to see the altcoins pump. So Bitcoin will probably cap around 250, and then you'll see a lot of stuff work its way into the altcoin space with people looking for alpha. So I wouldn't be surprised first quarter of 2026 and second quarter of 2026 where it kind of is really on the ascendancy, and then it'll kind of taper off and die down if it follows prior bull markets that we've had. But this is a different one because institutions are leading it, not retail investors. And so I've never experienced this in my career because every other one was a retail-led bull market. But overall, everybody's very optimistic. The U.S. government's optimistic. I was just at a Senate roundtable with a bunch of people, and everybody's working as one voice to try to get clarity passed. And once that's done, there's no more Gary Gensler, no more SEC burning us all to death. The U.S. government's open for business. Just insane.
Okay, look at this. Dollar has lost over 10% of its value this year. And then we've got gold hits $4,000 for the first time in history. Now, this is the billionaire Ken Griffin. Listen to how he's laying things out. You can kind of see where things are going.
Inflation is substantially above target and substantially above target in all forecasts for next year. I mean, it's part of the reason the dollar's depreciated by about 10% in the first half of this year. It's the single biggest decline in the US dollar in 6 months in 50 years. Gold is at record highs. And the appreciation in other dollar substitutes, to use that word loosely, in items like crypto, for example, is unbelievable. So we're seeing substantial asset inflation away from the dollar as people are looking for ways to effectively de-dollarize or de-risk their portfolios vis-a-vis U.S. sovereign risk.
Are you really seeing that?
No, just check the price of gold.
Well,
I don't have to look very hard.
That's like a life of its own. Yeah.
What?
It's a life of its own, gold.
No, but it's a life of its own as you see sovereigns around the world, as you see central banks around the world, as you see individual investors around the world go, you know what? I now view gold as a safe harbor asset in a way that the dollar used to be viewed. That's what's really concerning to me. And there's been plenty of published research in recent weeks, months, about foreign investors now when they buy U.S. equities, hedging the returns back to their local currency. So that, again, is a bifurcation of I'm going to bet on American business, but I want to immunize some of my sovereign exposure to the United States.
Oh, yeah. Now, this is the Robinhood CEO. He's telling you what's coming, too.
And I think real estate's a big opportunity. I think it's smart that they're aggressively pursuing that because everyone wants access to high quality real estate, particularly the mass market.
But isn't it true real estate is actually more complex? I mean, they tried this before. It hasn't really worked.
It has some similarities to a private company, actually. If you think about what a real estate investment looks like, you create a corporation. Using that corporation, you acquire some assets. It has some costs, which you want to minimize as much as possible. Maintenance. It has revenues like rent, receivables, or depending on how you use it. So if you can tokenize a private company, that same technology can actually be used to tokenize real estate, be it residential, commercial, and yeah, I think we figured out how to do it. It's just a question of regulation and what the right products are for different groups of customers.
Boy, it is going to be an interesting next few years. Now, this is Sandy Call from Franklin Templeton. She will be at Ripple Swell 2025 in New York.
We firmly believe that blockchain and these protocols are going to be the future utilities for the entire world, right? I don't believe in 15 years, 20 years, any organization, company, government, small business, individual, none of us are going to keep our own books and records, right? This is going to all be on public blockchain. These L1s and L2s that are out today, they are becoming, to us, the utility ledgers for the entire world. And so we are moving our whole thinking towards this infrastructure, which means No more accounts, all wallet-based. We believe that the entire future is going to be operated out of cryptographically protected wallets. And that means that every asset that sits in that wallet is going to be either a digitally native asset, a cryptocurrency, or a tokenized asset. And therefore, they are going to be interoperable. They're going to be commingled. They are going to have greater utility. They're going to settle instantly. They are going to be able to be easily transferred, and they're going to be able to be pledged in terms of collateral or liquidity pools or staking pools. There's going to be so much more that we believe people are going to be able to do with their assets.
Pledge to buy real estate.
And so what we're doing is we're really building our future state infrastructure inside of our current infrastructure. And so we have committed to wallets, and we have committed to this idea that products in the future are going to be digitally native. Most of our asset manager peers at this point are still working on this premise that blockchain is going to supplement their current account-based, mainframe-based systems. And so they're content using digital twins. But we don't feel that digital twins fulfill the true purpose and utility of the blockchain, and they don't have nearly the same number of use cases. So I think that's the biggest difference. And then I think just the earliness of our journey and the fact that we've been engaged with not just the SEC, but a global set of regulators for going on 7 full years now. And so we've built up a lot of trust, and we've gotten a lot of permissions to do things that no other asset manager has. So I think that's been the big difference in why we're so far ahead right now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're going to go into DAIXRP.com, the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below any of these videos. If you'd rather join through X, hit subscribe. You get the full video plus the extended video with no commercials. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Here we go. We got more.